Hello, welcome once again to the stage 2 of this project, which is AI powered POS system. In this project, you are still designing an AI powered POS system, but you are still in the research phase of the project. The first time you created a PROD for your AI powered POS system, and by now I know, or I assume, that you must have gotten a full grasp of what an AI powered POS system, point of sale system, is all about. Now, in the stage 2, you are going to be doing your UX research, and I'll be discussing what a UX research is all about. Even though UX research is very deep, it's not something that can be discussed in a 10-minute video. It is a whole spectrum of user design. So that is to say that before you do your design, you can first of all do your user research. And people take UX research, UX, as a career of its own. So it is not something we can be discussing in this video, but I'm going to be summarizing it anyway, so that you will have an understanding of what it's all about. That is to say, if you do not really know what it's about. But I assume that before you start embarking on this project, because it is not for beginners, it is actually for professionals, we assume that you understand what user research is all about. But let me shed some light on what user research is all about. So what is user research? The user research is the process of studying the users of the product you are designing for. So in this case, you'll be designing for business people, small, medium enterprises that are losing money because they don't have a way of documenting their sales and their revenue. So like I said, UX research is the process of studying the users of the product you are designing for. So you are not doing a random UX research, you are doing for a particular product you are designing for, which is AI powered POS system. The behaviors of the users, what motivates them, their challenges, just to understand and get real insights that guide your product or design decision. So this research helps guide your design decision. It helps you to know what to design, how to design, where to put your buttons, and how your flow goes, your user flow goes. This is what UX research is all about. So why is UX research important? Why is UX research important? UX research is very important because it helps designers to avoid guesswork. So it helps you to avoid guessing, designing out of guesswork. It helps you to understand the real problem. It helps you to validate assumptions and design solutions that genuinely solve user needs. It also helps you to answer questions like, who are we designing for? We have answered the question of who we are designing for. What exactly is the need of the people you are designing for? How do we solve these problems? What frustrates them? How do they currently solve their problems? And what should we build first to solve this problem? So this is what UX research is all about, to understand the pain points of your users and then find a way to solve it. So what makes a professional UX research? What makes a professional UX research is survey or data survey and analysis. So if you do a proper data survey and analysis, it will help you to gather real insights of data from your observation. It helps you do like empathy mapping, and then it also helps you to get real user pain points or problems from your users, and then it helps you define the problem, which we call problem definition. So when you are doing your survey or data survey insights, you know, now of course we all know that when you are doing your research, you have to first of all gather questionnaires, draft your questionnaires, and drop these your questionnaires to the users who might be needing this thing. Ask some kind of questions. Your questions must be clear. It must be in simple and in clear terms or language. The question must be easy to understand, so it shouldn't be filled with jargons. The questions must not be complex, you cannot use complex wordings, like, you know, now some people that may want to sound intelligent will now be looking for complex words or wordings to ask their questions, and it shouldn't have any dual meaning. Your question should not have double meanings. And then if your user needs to think too hard about any question, you have already missed the point of the whole research. So your question must be neutral and not lead the user to the answer. So you must not ask leading questions, and the rest of it, of course, it must be ethical and not encroach in the user's privacy. So I am trying to summarize what user research is all about and how you can integrate it into this project that we are working on. And at this point, I would like to give you a little example of what I mean by survey or data survey analysis. When you, like in this case study of a project I led a few months back, I will be explaining what user survey is all about. Oh, okay. You see, in the user research, I said to kick off the design, we reached out to this product is an incident reporting app where people report of what is happening in their neighborhood. So the people who need this are people who are facing some kind of insecurities in their neighborhood, or who may have faced some insecurities in their neighborhood. So now in this research, we said, because I wasn't the only one who did this project, but I led the project. We were about 40 of us who designed this project, and it was an amazing experience. We sent a survey for over 13 residents, and then they shared their everyday challenges and hopes for a safer community. So this is what you are expected. You need to know the age range of the people who will be needing the product you are designing. Under the age range, it was under 30 years to 61. Then we had 13 responses here. You can use Google Forms to send out your research. What best describes your living area? These are the questions that we asked, and this is the insights that we got. So this is what I mean by user survey and data insights. And then from there, we now deduced our empathy and created a persona for it. So what I mean by empathy mapping is, I think this is the last stage of this presentation. So what I mean by empathy mapping here is you put yourself in the shoes of the user. You put yourself in the shoes of the user so that you can feel what the user feels. So empathy mapping helps you to put yourself in the shoes of the user, and then you can now create a persona. You can now create a persona to draft the pain points of the user. So this is what I mean by empathy mapping, user research. All of them is still part of UX research. When you are done with the whole stuff, you can now document it as a complete user research before you now get on to your ideations, your user flows and the rest. But you cannot make you cannot design a perfect product for the user if you do not do a good research for that product. So this is why I am requesting that you do first your user research, because normally on my own end, after the user research, I already see in my mind what the product will look like. This is the essence of what a good user research can do. Thank you and have a very good day.